everyone, and welcome to another edition of 2A Arsenal Roundup News. My name is Richard Espinoza, and I am your host. 2A Arsenal Roundup News is your primary source for Second Amendment news. Whether it be good, bad, or ugly, whether it be in red states or blue states, I do my best to keep you informed on what is going on in protecting our Second Amendment rights. And I'd like to give a little shout out to my friends of the Arizona Citizens Defense League chat group on Facebook. Just want to thank you for your friendship and allowing me to be part of your group. And you could also follow me on Podbean. I'm on Podbean 4 days a week. I have Arizona Arsenal, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then Saturday morning shoot on Saturdays. So you can find me on Podbean and listen to my upcoming shows on the happenings of our Second Amendment rights. And hopefully in the future I'll have some special guests on my show. Well, today I'm going to talk about some important victory that happened today. This is a huge victory for American gun owners today, and it was announced both from Jarrett Yanis from Guns and Gadgets and Mark W. Smith of the Four Boxes Diner that the attorneys for Gun Owners of America has put a halt on the assault weapons ban in Virginia. The Commonwealth of Virginia has it's got a huge victory for Virginia gun owners, but it's far from over. This will put a halt on the assault weapons ban. However, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, along with Attorney General Jay Jones, they are filing appeal. They're asking the lower court to continue the assault weapons ban as it's under litigation. Harvey Dhillon's office, Harvey Dhillon, who is the Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division, has told Abigail Spanberger to either let it go or get sued. So one way or another, there will be a decision made by the courts on whether or not if the July 1st assault weapon ban continue under litigation or it will be postponed until the end of litigation. Either way, this is going to be a huge victory, and I totally praise Harvey Dhillon office for what they're doing in standing and fighting for the rights of American citizens. It's not often that I praise government officials because, government, you don't trust them. Even our founding fathers even warned us not to trust government, but put limited trust. But so far, so good. Harvey Dhillon has been truthful to her oath and her commitment. She said on day one that she will protect all constitutional rights and that if constitutional rights are violated, she said she will step in, and so far, so good, she has delivered. Also in the news, and it was also brought to my attention from both Jarrett Yanis and Mark W. Smith, the office of Harvey Dhillon has sent a letter to California Governor Gavin Newsom and California Attorney General Rob Bonta. In the letter, Harvey Dhillon told Gavin Newsom and Rob Bonta that they have two choices. They either drop the Glock ban immediately and publicly admit that they violated the Constitution. If they do not comply with Harvey Dhillon's office, then a lawsuit will be filed against both Newsom and Bonta. And they're also going to request a temporary halt on the July 1st Glock ban. As we speak, Harvey Dhillon's office is meeting with the courts to get a hearing to either that the Glock ban will be either continued or will be postponed temporarily until litigation is over with. Hopefully, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed, that Harvey Dhillon will use Proposition 15 and Proposition H as a legal weapon to justify why the Glock ban is illegal to begin with. For those of you who don't know what Proposition 15 is, I'll just try to make it as short as possible. Proposition 15 back in 1982 was a ballot initiative where it would have made handguns, depending on what handguns they are, they're either going to be illegal or you'd be forced to register. The no vote has had won, but I will give you further details about Proposition 15 and how it will work and how Harmy Dhillon can use Proposition 15 as the justification on why the Glock ban should be removed, as well as Proposition H. Proposition H is something that Gavin Newsom should know about during his time as the mayor of San Francisco. But more details tomorrow on my morning show, so you'll get a clear understanding what Proposition H is about, and as well as Proposition 15. So with that being said, now that Harmy Dhillon has sent a message to Abigail Spanberger, Jay Jones, and Gavin Newsom, and Rob Bonta, that they better knock it off, or legal consequences will be faced. Now, what should be next for Harmy Dhillon is to go after the state of Connecticut as well as the state of Maryland. As you know, and I'm reaching out to the people of Maryland and the people of Connecticut. As you know, effectively on July 1st as well, Maryland Governor Wes Moore will make Glocks illegal in the state of Maryland, which is a clear violation of the Constitution. So the people of Maryland, you need to call Harmy Dhillon's office immediately and tell her that, our rights are being violated too. We need your help. We need to put an injunction on Wes Moore. And also, Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont also signed into law to make Glock-style pistols or Glock pistols illegal in the state, which again is another clear violation of the Constitution. So for those of you who are from the state of Maryland and from the state of Connecticut, you better get on the ball. You better call up Harmy Dhillon's office and get involved with your organizations to put a halt on this. Because with America's birthday coming up on July 4th, we're celebrating 250 years of liberty. And let me remind you, 250 years ago, our founding fathers gave their sweat, blood, and tears for this right for us. We cannot let them down. We must do our part, and we need to act now. So it is important that the people of Maryland, as well as the people of the state of Connecticut, you need to call up Harmy Dhillon's office, like I said, and let her know that it's time that she also stands up for you as well, because your rights are being violated. But trust me, there is hope for the people of Maryland and the people of Connecticut. For those of you who are gun owners in Maryland and the gun owners of Connecticut, there is hope. So far, so good. Harmy Dhillon is doing exactly what she said she was going to do, and she is socking it to Gavin Newsom right now, as well as Abigail Spanberger. So in order to put Governor Wes Moore in his place in the state of Maryland, people of Maryland, call up Harmy Dhillon's office, get together with Biggie Gun Rights Organization, what's in the state of Maryland, and send a clear message to Wes Moore that you're not going to allow him to violate your constitutional rights. And the same thing with Ned Lamont. People of Connecticut, you know that Connecticut is one of the founding nations of this great country, the building block of liberty. It is time that you do your part and call up Harmy Dhillon's office and tell her it's time that she puts Ned Lamont in his place. We cannot and we shall not allow our governor officials to infringe upon our constitutional rights. Just remember, freedom is only as good as you're willing to fight for it. So it's important that you do your part and let your voices be heard. Because if you don't, they're just going to walk all over you. That is important why you read about the Constitution, study the Constitution, and understand how you can defend your rights. Because one thing our founding fathers warned us, that tyrants do not go away quickly. And when you defeat them, more come. And as long as this flag is flying, as long as this country exists, we will face different obstacles as freedom-loving Americans, as well as American gun owners. So it's important, again, to do your part, call up Harmy Dhillon's office, and let her know that she needs to sent a letter to Westmore and sent a letter to Ned Lamont that under my dead body, am I going to allow you to infringe upon the American people's constitutional rights? That's important. So again, please tune in tomorrow at my podcast, the Arizona Arsenal, and I'm going to give you more details about Proposition 15 and Proposition H, and we'll also talk about how Harmy Dhillon will use the Bruin decision as another justification in the reasonings why these bans are totally illegal. Obviously, the elected officials don't understand about Hellard versus Washington, D.C. and McDonald versus Chicago. The courts ruled that elected officials have no right to infringe upon constitutional rights. Well, that is it for 2A Arsenal Roundup News. This is going to be a short segment because tomorrow morning I will give you more details on what you need to know about Proposition H and Proposition 15 so that you can use this argument for future court cases if you have to fight for your Second Amendment rights. I think Proposition 15 and Proposition H is a great building foundation on what powers and limitations that government has, what they can and cannot do. If you have any important legislation, important news that relates to Second Amendment news in your state, and you want me to relay the message to everybody, please feel free to send me an email at rjespinoza, that's rjespinoza.roundupnews@gmail.com. Tell me what state you're from. Tell me what the legislation bill is about. Is it good or is it bad? Will it benefit your Second Amendment rights or will it cause effect to your Second Amendment rights? You can leave your name anonymous if you choose. You can go by your first name or I'll go by your last name or both. Just tell me what you want me to do and I'll be sure to relay the message on my next podcast. And if you also want to be a guest on my show on Arizona Arsenal or Saturday Morning Shoot, just send me an email and I'll be glad to hear what you like to talk about on my show. If you're a professional shooter, if you're a gun rights advocate, or if you're somebody running for office who wants to defend the Second Amendment, feel free to send me an email and I'll be glad to talk to you on my show. Well, until then, be armed, be vigilant, carry a firearm wherever you may go. Remember, the Second Amendment is not just about guns, it's about freedom, and you have the freedom and the right to protect your family, your community, and your loved ones. Talk to you tomorrow, my fellow Americans. Have a great day.